What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1986 movie Howard the Duck. So this was the very first ever Marvel movie that went to theaters. There were some Captain America serials from the 40s, but I don't think they're really counted as movies. It's the first feature-length movie, and it's a very weird movie. So in this movie, Howard the Duck is accidentally brought to Earth from his home planet when an experiment unknowingly brings extraterrestrial lives to the planet, and he's having to find a way to get back to his home planet, but he has to stop the dark overlord of the universe from destroying Earth before he's able to go back home. This is a very weird movie. It's one of those 80s movies. It feels like an 80s movie. It has that cheesiness, and it screams 80s when you watch it, but it's one that has a reputation for being really, really terrible. I know a lot of people hate it and everything, but I can get it because it is dumb, but it is also a lot of fun. I really actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. I've seen it. This was my second time watching it. The first time I watched it, I was really more impressed with it. This time, I see why people don't like it as much. It has a lot of issues, like the dialogue is really, really cheesy and stuff, which I don't know if George Lucas had a help in writing it or not, but I know he did have a lot to do with this movie. He was a producer on it and helped get it made, so I don't know if he had anything to do with writing or not, but it did feel like his style of dialogue at times. But it has a pretty decent cast. So Leah Thompson plays Beverly Switzler, this rock singer who's trying to make it big and stuff, and she becomes friends with Howard the Duck and has this very weird relationship with him, or she's kind of his girlfriend. It's weird because he's a duck and she's a human, but yeah, they have that. And then Tim Robbins plays this scientist that's helping him out. He's pretty good, and Jeffrey Jones is Walter Jennings is really good. He plays this doctor that gets possessed by the dark overlord of the universe, and he's really good in here, and the makeup effects they used on him when he was turning evil and stuff just looked really great. Has that awesome 80s makeup effects that you get in movies back then. It kind of has some Ghostbusters vibes to it a little bit too, and the way this movie was made. But I think the cast were all good, and Ed Gale does the voice of Howard the Duck. He's pretty, or he's a suit performer actually. I'm sorry. The voice is Chip Zien, and the two of them worked really good to get. They're bringing the character to life. The voice and the acting went really well, and the costume and stuff for Howard I think actually looks pretty good. I know a lot of people think it looks really bad and stuff, but I think it looks pretty decent for what they were trying to go for. And this movie is just really cheesy. But it's a lot of fun. It is a little overlong though. They could have chopped down a little bit of stuff in here, like the ending dragged out a little bit too long, and it kind of slowed down a little bit in the middle. They could have chopped off about maybe 20 minutes of it, and it would have been a much better movie. But I think for what it is, it's a lot better than people say it is. It's not a super great movie, and it's not even one of the best Marvel movies ever made. It's better than a lot of people say it is. So, and if you're a Marvel fan and you haven't seen this one, I definitely would recommend it, because this is like the first big theatrical Marvel movie, It wasn't the very first Marvel movie ever, because there were TV movies and stuff, but this was the first movie, so it's definitely worth checking out for that too. If you're a fan of Marvel and want to see all their big theatrical movies, it's definitely worth checking out for that. But yeah, so I just really liked this movie. I thought it was really entertaining. It's silly, it's cheesy, it's got, like I said, some really good special effects, some bad. There's some bad stop motion effects at the end of it that hasn't aged well, but you get that with a lot of 80s movies and stuff, especially at the time this movie came out. Some of it holds up really well, and some of it doesn't. This is one of the ones, and everything. So it doesn't hold up as well and everything, but it could be worse too. Like I've seen way worse CGI in modern Marvel movies, like Eternals, for example. But yeah, this is a fun movie. It's pretty funny too. Like it is really funny. Howard can be annoying at times when he's over the top, and it has some really over the top acting, but you could tell most of the cast seem to be having fun, especially Tim Robbins. He's really great in here. And Jeffrey Jones is really great in here too. But yeah, so I really enjoy Howard the Duck. I think it's a pretty decent movie. It's not my most favorite movie ever, but I do enjoy it and everything. So I'd say I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely one it's kind of a guilty pleasure, but I enjoy watching it every time I watch it. And that being said, it's not one that I revisit all the time. I watch it every few years or so, but it's not one that I have to watch every year or anything like that, but it's okay for what it is. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Howard the Duck. Do you think it's terrible, or do you think, like me, like it's kind of a guilty pleasure? It's so bad it's good. But let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.